Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I got another recap video for you guys. We're going to recap Married at First Sight season 13 episode 10, Locked Out. But before we do this, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you'll be notified every time a new posts. And then also hit that like button if you like it, and also feel free to share. We got a lot to unpack with these 5 couples tonight, so let's get this started. So the experts give the 5 couples some sexy assignments to help build trust and intimacy. While some couples enjoy the added spice, others feel distant from their partner. They're forced to dig deeper than ever before to explore a new level to their relationships, and only after living as husband and wife for the past 2 weeks, this should be definitely interesting. I guess week 3 is a charm. So this episode is going to show some relationships progressing while others go straight downhill. We will see that one groom shows a more explosive side of his personality. One wife struggles with the fact that her husband isn't attracted to her. So this episode is definitely filled with some drama. So without further ado, let's talk about these couples. Okay, so first up, let's talk about Zach and Michaela. So it looked like they're still taking baby steps to get back to a better place in their relationship, because they started off great and it's been downhill, especially after the honeymoon. So this week, when Dr. Viviana Cole come out to visit them, things take another left turn. Look like Zach is never going to forgive Michaela for going off of the rails when she thought she had left, that he rather had left the apartment that one night. He's basically admitting that he doesn't trust his wife not to have another explosive, as he called them, knee-jerk reactions. Now, of course I can understand why, someone may want to side-eye someone for that type of behavior. But it's only been less than a month, and they haven't really spent most of that month together. So is it kind of fair to psychoanalyze a person after only knowing them in this time? Michaela did a nice job holding her composure while being judged. Once Dr. Viviana leaves, Zach shut down again, becoming extremely emotional. Now, Zach may not have been ready to get married or even in a relationship. I mean, he started off great, because I was like on his side, but he has walked out on his wife numerous times, and it's starting to feel like he just don't want to do the work necessary to save this marriage. He wants everything to be perfect, and it just isn't. Nothing's perfect. He just seems like he gives up. So Zach plans a special evening at a family friend's house for Michaela. While they were there, they, complete the intimacy exercise that the experts gave them. They take turns blindfolding one another and answering questions about their feelings. I thought that exercise was pretty cool. Of course, there must be something about blindfolding, because they were definitely, communicating very well during this exercise. Well, as soon as we thought things were going well, everything goes downhill again. When Michaela asked Zach, does he see a future for them? He said, it's doubtful. You talking about being brutally honest. I got to give him points for being honest, but it was brutal. It's crazy. I mean, like I said earlier, I honestly believe that he needs to talk to someone about what's going on with him. But, we're going to have to see how this goes, and where they go from here. But it doesn't look too good. Okay, next up, let's talk about Brett and Ryan. So Dr. V meets with Brett and Ryan to check in on their progress as a married couple. During their conversation, he revealed that he isn't attracted to his wife. Now, naturally, Brett is definitely hurt by his remarks. She become emotional, recalling her past of always feeling like she was waiting on a man to choose her. And, I mean, at least he told her now rather than later. But I definitely understand why she's hurt. No one wants to feel rejected by someone you really like. And obviously, it was all too much for Ryan to deal with because soon after, he decided to go home for some alone time. Now, Ryan finally returns to his apartment that he shared with Brett after taking some time to himself. He claims that he's in a better place and feel more comfortable being open. Now, although he still isn't attracted to his wife, he still isn't quite ready to return to the single life either. So, I guess time will tell to see where they go from this. My thing with Ryan is that he's looking for these fairy tale butterfly feelings in his stomach to happen. And sometimes, especially love is a commitment. And with him waiting for those feelings to happen, dude, you got to work at it. You got to kind of build your connection. Now, I understand people have instant connections, and maybe he's just not really into her. But the thing is that, somewhere along this process, and that's why you really have to be sure that you're ready for being married at first sight, because you're actually connected, or I hate to say stuck with someone for 8 weeks, and you don't know who they're going to put you with. And it may be somebody that you're not necessarily attracted to or who's your type. However, you're putting it in the hands of an expert. So you got to figure out what you're going to do with this situation. And from the way it looks on the upcoming seasonal previews, it's not a good look. Look like he might step outside of this marriage in regards to dating apps and things like that. But, we don't know that content yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But unfortunately, she has feelings for him. She finds him attractive. At first, she was kind of iffy about his country boy lifestyle, but she seems to gravitate. So, we'll see what happens, but I don't see no promise there whatsoever. Okay, let's talk about the couple of the evening, Jose and Rachel. So, they did get a visit with Dr. Viviana, and she jumped right into the sex questions when she speak with them. Now, although they're a little shy about the topic, they admit things are going well in that area. These two are elated to be married to one another, and, let's face it, right now they're the only hope at this moment for the season. Well, I think we thought a little bit too soon to say that, because while hanging out at the clubhouse, Rachel calls Jose by another man's name. Now, when they return to the apartment, he is absolutely furious that producers had to step in to try to calm down the situation. Now, I must say, he definitely seems to be a very different guy when he's angry. Not only was he cursing at Rachel, he threatened to throw his ring at her too. Now, he also told her to leave the apartment. Of course, naturally, she's upset and shocked by his behavior. And honestly, I think it's best she found that out right now, because you never really truly know a person until you see them in every, situation that can happen and see them experience every type of emotion that they may have. So the next morning, Jose is acting like nothing ever happened. Rachel reveals that he locked her out of the apartment when she left to walk the producer out. Now, the footage shows her attempting to knock on the doors of the other couples at 1 o'clock to find shelter. As she explained why she's upset, Jose has zero reaction. He even doubled down by saying he was just securing the property. He made a mistake. Locking a woman out in the middle of the night is nothing wrong? Yeah, right. He took things a little too far. And I would have never guessed that he would have reacted that way so strongly. I know some folks were saying that he probably been hanging out with Michaela. Okay, I don't know if I want to say that's fair, but whatever. They went from this season's star couple to on the verge of a divorce. And then Rachel is so upset, she tells Jose she can't stay married to him. Once again, he has no reaction. She reads him a letter she wrote 2 weeks ago about some concerns on their marriage. Jose is blindsided and questions why she didn't say nothing sooner. Later, during a golfing outing, Jose fills in the guys with the argument with Rachel. None of them believe him that he accidentally locked his wife out. In fact, Ryan reveals that the name she called her was her husband was Johnny. And I mean, at this point, Jose it made him look crazy. He went this crazy because she actually called him by another castmate's name. So I didn't react too much to this. I mean, I know I sound, because it was just interesting how they go from being the sweethearts to going left. I know if you follow MAFS fans, they posted something that, and we do sometimes a little spoilers here, that they're actually still out enjoying life. Somebody actually saw this couple recently at a baseball game together, living just fine. So I don't know if I would hate to say the producer staged it, because it's interesting that the producer was sitting there when all of a sudden this erupted. Then there was this weird smile that was on his face while all this was going on. And I said this about season 12, because when Vincent was in a so-called argument with Brianna, he had this weird smile. We would see Chris having this weird smile when there was a particular scene going on. So I don't know what this is about. I guess it remains to be seen, because the next day he's talking about I still love her. But then the only name he called him was Johnny, which she don't like Johnny. It just don't make sense. I kind of want to call BS on this particular one. So, with me, I'm always objective. I try to, I watch a lot of spoiler sites, especially MAFS Fans is one of them. And, from what I heard about this couple, I don't know if I want to call this legit yet. But we'll see, because it just don't make sense to me. It just really doesn't. And I mean, the reactions, he cursing her out. I'm wondering, was there some prefacing to say, hey, you know what? We're going to run this scene and we're going to make it look believable. He's going to cuss you out, but he don't mean it. You just playing the role, because they go and talk to the producers. I don't know. This is just me. But they went from hot to cold. It just don't make sense to me. So we'll have to follow this to see how it goes. Like me, I always follow the cast after the season. We remember Clara's outburst about her not having sex with Ryan. Come to find out, they were having sex all the time. So, I just wonder about certain storylines when I see something that just go left real quick. So just food for thought. I could be wrong, but hey, the truth will come out and we'll see. Okay, on a lighter note, let's talk about Bao and Johnny. So they show their vulnerable sides when they answer intimate questions from a jar. I definitely think the more they get to know each other, they look like they continuously grow as a couple, or maybe it's the sex. Now, ever since they started getting kind of frisky in the bedroom with each other, they begin to appear a lot more happier together. And the thing was so funny when she had mentioned to Dr. V that she would be open to having sex every day or every other day. And I didn't see Johnny decline that. And most men, I don't think, wouldn't, especially with their wives. So they definitely have gotten into a more positive direction with their relationship, and I'm happy to see that. I kind of want to see where they grow from this, because for a minute we got kind of worried about Johnny. Johnny was like, oh, I'm not attracted to her, I'm not into her, and now he can't keep his hands off of her. He was even watching her bending over taking some food out the oven just to get a look at her butt. So obviously their sexual chemistry is definitely growing. They're doing yoga and stuff together, so I'm happy to see that. So let's talk about Merla and Gil. So Merla and Gil meet with Dr. V, and I was kind of confused by some of their responses. Okay, so first of all, they rate each other a 7 for emotional intimacy. Huh? And then for physical intimacy, Merla says another 7, while Gil gives it a 5. So I don't know what world Merla must be in, but she haven't even gave him a kiss at that point. And I mean, she's even shocked when Gil repeats that he will ask for a divorce if things continue in the direction that they are going. And of course he wants to feel like his wife is attracted to him and want him. I didn't understand that conversation at all. I just didn't get it, because how you rating physical intimacy as a 7? And I mean, intimacy comes in other forms other than sexual. But unless there's some stuff we're not seeing, and they had admitted at that point that no kisses happened, it's just hard to fathom that. I hope this isn't another, like I just spoke of earlier, a Clara Ryan situation from season 12, where Clara wanted intimacy and Ryan don't want to do anything, and they doing everything else but that. And then, of course, months after the season is over, they say, oh, here's the spoiler alert. Yeah, we did sleep together. We've been sleeping together all the time. So I don't know if that's the situation, but, I can't see Gil making that up, because he's been trying to get a little bit of intimacy, whatever, as much as possible. And, I mean, it's not working. But then later on, he admits to the guys that she gave him not only one kiss, but 2 kisses. So I was glad to hear that, because at least she, decides like, okay, you know what? This man ain't playing with me. I know she's worried about the fact that she's been cheated on before. But, and I understand that. But sometimes these issues that folks are having, you need to think about whether or not you're ready for a show like this. And I mean, even to kind of go back to Zach seems like somewhere in the past, he was extremely emotionally abused and has not ever gotten over that. He even called what Michaela did a scar. So obviously there's another bigger scar that he has that hasn't healed, and he needs to go get some healing for that, or else whatever other person he spoke to or speaks to in a relationship and that happens, he's going to crumble. Each and every time it seems like he crumble. And then guys, somebody tell me, is this something new with season 13 that people can just go home? Now, I know, I think it happened last season. I mean, at the end, I know with Zach and Mindy back in the day, they kind of split them up. Chris and Paige, they decided to live in separate households when they knew that they weren't going to be together. But just folks just going home, I'll stay at my house for a night and then I'll come back. Let me know if that happened a lot in previous seasons. I don't remember that. I thought mostly people just stayed and figured it out, or they go in the second bedroom. I mean, that's what happened with Christina and Henry, and some of the other, Derek and the other girl, I forgot her name, that she just got married. But I've never seen where these folks just go home. So let me know what you think. Tell us, what couple shocked you the most in this episode? Do you think Jose overreacted about being called another man's name? Or do you think Rachel was overreacting? So what say you? Drop your comments. The discussion begins there. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you in the next one.